What's good, G Life? This is beautiful Killer Cali, California. Now, strap on your seatbelt because today we are going to be traveling to all different places. Because today we're going to be covering one of these neighborhoods that has been wanting and requested by a lot of people for me to do. And this particular name is obviously used by several different barrios. So we'll be, in different places. And all these barrios are not connected. They have nothing to do with each other. They just happen to have the same name. It's a coincidence like that. Like I said, it's with so many gangs. Obviously names tend to overlap and etc. So today we shall be covering all barrio loco neighborhoods. And trust me, there is several of them that are not connected. So with no further ado, let's get into it. Street raised, I was brought up with a G state. Peep game, those who didn't catch one to your brain. Stay in your lane, never wolfed it, boy, I never fake. Watch them break, watch them fall, still I remain. Never change, never try to come and rearrange. Never hate, never tripping on somebody's plate. That shit is lame, leave that type of shit for the dames. The streets don't play, yo, catch up, watch your life as capes. One game, homie, that you shouldn't play. There's real soldiers in the streets gunning every day. This shit is normal in the vital part of every day. It ain't great, but I'm loyal, so I'll never change. I keep repeating, but I mean it, never lose your way. Heed the warning and the missing just for talking brave. Fuck my enemies, two faces and all the snakes. Now for this matter, just name the time and name the place. We'll get it active, fuck the gap, and I mean face to face. We all gangsters never fold, then we never shake. I was brought up to.
You are now watching M.O.D. Entertainment.
Now, to find one of these barrio local neighborhoods, we shall be starting in the area that I'm more familiar with and where I got homies from. So for this particular neighborhood, we actually have to be traveling to the area of the south side of Los Angeles. To be more specific, we're in the south side of Los Angeles to the area that is known as Maywood / Huntington Park. I say / Huntington Park because geographically, the way that it's located, it's odd because the area is referred to as Huntington Park by the city. It is known as part of the city of Huntington Park, but it is slap right there in the city of Maywood. Though it's just that certain street that just slides by through where it's Maywood. So technically it's Maywood, but geographically it's known as Huntington Park. That's why I say / Huntington Park. Although they don't claim Maywood, they actually claim Huntington Park because geographically that is what they're labeled. But if anybody else goes right there, they're gonna just consider that the city of Maywood because it's just right there in Maywood. Like I said, sometimes these cities, some of these streets take weird turns where it's just like this street is just considered a part of that city, but everywhere else around it is considered a different city. Like I said, bro, I don't know, geographically, bro, the cities, I don't know how they brand and stuff. But we are talking about the barrio VXLS. VXLS translating to Barrio Locos Huntington Park. Not Huntington Park Locos, Barrio Locos Huntington Park. There's a difference. One's HPLS, this one is VXLS. VXLS is a real barrio that's located right here in the area of Huntington Park / Maywood on 59th Place. That is where they're located. That is their dojo. That is their domain throughout, 59th Place, through those apartments, back alleys, all of that is considered their barrio. It's a small territory because they're a small neighborhood. You know what I mean? But nonetheless, a real barrio that has real individuals that do real things. And I should know because I have homies from this neighborhood. And I know they with the business and I know they handle business. You know what I'm saying? Roughly, the barrio started roughly around the later 80s, early 90s when this neighborhood was established. You know what I'm saying? Not only that, this barrio, I was hearing people say that they, sprouted off from the Maywoods, they sprouted off from Kansas. No. I don't know where people are throwing all of that from. It's his own neighborhood, has always been his own neighborhood, stood on his own 2 feet. You know what I'm saying? Roughly, this neighborhood was roughly about 60 members to it at its max, at least from what I was told. But they're real individuals that do real things. Like I said, homie, these guys were no suckers, homie. You went down 59th Place, homie, and it was on and cracking. You know what I'm saying? These guys were definitely, handling business right there, feuding with the surrounding areas. Since then, their neighborhood is, they have homies, spread out to different locations, but that is their birthplace where they originated from, where they come from. Roughly, like I said, they were always pocos pero locos. They weren't deep, but the few members that they had, homie, they did their thing. You know what I'm saying? That's all they needed. You know what I mean? And I should know, these guys, still represent and put it down for the VXLS, the Varrio Locos, Huntington Park. Shout out to Flaco, shout out to Puppy, shout out to Güero, shout out to, Shaggy, shout out to everyone that puts it down for the VXLS, RIP Dopey, Grifo, Darky, shout out to all the homies from VXLS that be doing their thing representing right there. Now, to find the next Varrio Locos neighborhood on the list, we actually have to be sliding on through to the area of Compton. You already know Compton, California is a very notorious area, one of, LA County's most gang-infested areas, not just with Hispanic gangs, but with black gangs. It definitely cracks in Compton. Obviously, people are aware of that. Compton was put on the map by, rappers and, people that really live this life, Compton's been an area that people know that it cracks. And this is home to a Hispanic neighborhood that uses the Varrio Loco title to it, which is known as the Varrio CVLS. CVLS translating to Varrio Compton Varrio Locos. Compton Varrio Locos, like I said, no attachment to the other Varrio Locos, just similar name. What do you want? Compton Varrio Locos is a real neighborhood that is well established right here. Their area is everything that's from El Segundo. El Segundo, the territory stretches down Wilmington, roughly around the 130 area. From Wilmington, their territory extends all the way to 131st, all the way to Paulson Avenue to Stockwell, their territory extends all the way to Willowbrook and back around. Yes, I am aware that is also home to the Hood Compton Cribs. Like I said, they just share territory. What you want is right there. I mean, slap right in the middle, a whole real homeboy neighborhood who has actually, at least from what I was told, there's roughly about 70 members to them. They are, attached to the Westside Locos neighborhood. At least from what I was told, that they, sprouted off of the Westside Locos neighborhood. You know what I mean? So they're an off neighborhood from the Westside Locos who still have a good connection with the Westside Locos. They do tend to wear red, but they are homeboys. Their territory is everything right there. That's from, 131st to Alranabee Avenue. I think that's how you pronounce that. That slices through their barrio, and still maintain right there, holding it down. Real individuals that do real thing. They are known to wear the St. Louis, you know what I mean, the St. Louis apparel. Why also it explains the red and stuff like that, because obviously of the LS, locos, because that's what they represent. They're proud to be locos, and I understand people often refer to them as Compton Locos, but their actual name of their title, their barrio, is actually Compton Varrio Locos. You know what I mean? So they are a Varrio Locos neighborhood. Like I said, that has been well established here since the 90s and continue to still be right there established and holding it down for theirs and putting theirs on the map for the Compton Varrio Locos. Now, to find the next barrio, we actually have to be maneuvering our way to the area of the Southeast. Yes, the Southeast of Los Angeles. The Southeast of Los Angeles is also another notorious area that is filled with a gang of neighborhoods. When we're talking about the Southeast, we mean cities like Norwalk, Whittier, Artesia, La Mirada, Hawaiian Gardens. That's what we mean when we talk about Pico, Rivera, that's what we mean when we talk about the Southeast. You know what I mean? The Southeast of Los Angeles. And like I said, this area is notorious because it is filled with all kinds of different barrios. You know what I mean? And real neighborhoods that have been well established right here for a long, long, long time. So it's not just areas like Los Angeles, where these old, or East LA, where these old barrios, come from, but also other, different, areas, surrounding the LA County area, that played a role in the madness, you know what I mean? And now, to be exact, we shall be heading towards the area of, Artesia/Norwalk. Well, we're able to find the next one of these barrios, which is the barrio CVLS or CVL. Well, Shadow, I thought you already covered them on, prior to this one. No. We're not talking about Compton Barrio Locos right here. We mean Carmela's Barrio Locos. Carmela's Barrio Locos, no connection to the Compton Varrio Locos, same abbreviation, I know, but they're different neighborhoods. They just happen to have similar names. One's Compton Varrio Locos, this is Carmela Varrio Locos. It just, it happens that way. Now, Carmela's Varrio Locos is a old school barrio that has been well established right here within this area for a long, long time. And they are deep, at least from what I was told. More than 400 members to the Carmelas. You could say what you want. It ain't true. Hey, bro, I only come and spit the facts. You can hate it or love it. It doesn't change the facts. Their barrio is everything that's from Rosecrans. The territory stretches to where the freeway is at. From the freeway, their territory still stretches all the way to Carmelita Road. And Carmelita Road all the way back to Rosecrans. Everything that's from Mapledale and all of that slices through their barrio, by the Ramona Park. All that whole entire area is considered the Barrio Carmelitas or Carmelas. Either one is appropriate how you want to see it, Carmelas or Carmelitas or Carmelas, Barrio Locos. Is essentially talking about the same neighborhood. And obviously they're named after, Carmelita Road, that's why they're known as Carmelas Barrio Locos. And like I said, yes, it is that large because it has already been well established right here. They also have car clubs that sprouted off of their neighborhood. And, real individuals that do real things with several cliques, from Los Hawks and Los Chingones, all kinds of different cliques to their barrios and members that do real things and put it on the map. A real neighborhood that does real things, feuding with obviously the surrounding area. It definitely cracks right here in the Southeast. Don't ever get it twisted. But the CVL neighborhood still continues to represent theirs and put it down and put theirs on the map for the Carmelas Barrio Locos. Now, to find the next neighborhood, we actually have to travel to the area, still remaining here in the Southeast, but this time heading towards the area of Whittier. Yes, Whittier is home to one of these Barrio Loco neighborhoods. To be more exact, we shall be heading towards the uptown part of Whittier because that is where we're able to find this barrio. Because Whittier is home to several different barrios. Not just, I know people get them confused and everything. They always thought that it was just Whittier 13, or they thought that Southside Whittier 13 and Whittier Barrio Locos and all that were the same gang, but they're not. They're all different barrios, bro. They don't even get along, so that's why it's important not to, confuse them for each other. But the uptown part of Whittier is where we have the Uptown Whittier Barrio Locos, WVLS. Uptown Whittier Barrio Locos, obviously, is attached to their name, but it's the same gang. So whether you see it Uptown or whether you see, WVLS, Whittier Barrio Locos, essentially it's the same barrio. You know what I mean? You could refer to them as either one. It's, it's the same gang. And they are a real neighborhood that's been well established right here within this area with, a few hundred members to them, at least from what I was told. Not only that, they actually have a few rappers too that you could scope out right here, on YouTube. They have, I think his name was Travieso. He rapped with Charlie Roll, Miji Loco. So they have a few rolas. And the vato, he got down. He got down in his rapping. And this vato actually did real things. I mean, these guys were making headlines. That's why I posted some reports right here. Bro, this vato was doing real things for those who want to say, nah, them don't put in work, blah, 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 blah. Like I said, bro, facts over fiction, bro. Their territory of their barrio was pretty extensive. You know what I mean? Their territory was everything that was from Pickering Avenue, all the way to where the freeway was at, all the way to Painter Avenue. Their territory extended all the way back to Beverly. So everything that's in the middle was considered their barrio throughout Greenleaf, which is a massive amount of territory. Their main domain, their dojos on Milton and Wardman, throughout Newlyn Avenue, throughout Comstock Avenue. All of that is what's considered the Barrio WVLS. Like I said, even I be getting them confused how many Barrio Locos there is. Nah, but this is a real, neighborhood that does real things right here in the Southeast. Been putting it, on the map for them right there, representing, holding it down. Like I said, feuding with the surrounding area. It definitely cracks in the city of Whittier. Don't ever get it twisted. In the Southeast, boy, you will get popped if you caught slipping. These guys do not play. But yeah, the Whittier Barrio Locos right there still representing and holding it down for theirs. Now, to find the next barrio on the list, we actually have to be making our way to the area of the Inland Empire, the IE. The IE is definitely home to one of these Barrio Locos neighborhoods, one of the Inland Empire's most largest and well-known barrios within this area. One of the deepest, too, because of the sheer amount of territory and members that they have to their barrio. More than 1,000 members to them. We have the barrio CVL. No connection to the other CVLs, so they have no connection to the Compton Barrio Locos or the Carmela Barrio Locos. This one is known as the Corona Barrio Locos. Only thing in common is the abbreviation in the Barrio Loco part. But they're all different barrios. This is Corona Barrio Locos. Corona Barrio Locos resides obviously in the area of Corona. Now, where in Corona? Shit, almost everywhere in Corona. They have different cliques that, manage different, territories, different spots. You know what I mean? Because they have, several cliques, to their barrio. So, like I said, this is one of the Inland Empire's powerhouse. Have med headlines, all kinds of homies busted. Man, it definitely be cracking, you know what I mean? Corona Barrio Locos is not playing. Obviously, they're known for Corona Barrio Locos, 4th Street. 4th Street is their heart of their hood, their main domain, their dojo where they get it on and popping. But essentially their territory, extends larger than that. Like I said, you can find them in different areas that, have different parts, like in Home Gardens, you have, Corona Barrio over there and El Cerritos. In the area of Corona. You also have them in the area of Coronita, the area that is known as Coronita. You also have them over there. So this barrio extends throughout Corona. They have a strong grip on it. Like I said, a lot of members have, it's an old school barrio already been right here doing their damn thing. And it is a Barrio Locos neighborhood, you know what I mean? You could see it up either, Corona Barrio Locos or Corona 4th Street, but it's this, or Crown Town, but it's the same barrio. Same barrio, doing their thing. Like I said, one of the Inland Empire's most largest, dominant presence. And because of the sheer manpower that they have and the, how they, maintain it right there, it definitely cracks in the area of Corona. Don't ever get it twisted. And they are the only gang in the area of Corona. So they're the only barrio established in Corona. The only other gang that you have in Corona is the Block Cribs are the only other gang in Corona. But other than that, it is, the area is just ran by, Corona Barrio Locos. They do feud with the surrounding areas, but as in the area of Corona, it is the only neighborhood established there because, like I said, they rule with an iron fist and continue to still hold it down for theirs in the Corona Barrio Locos. Now, we do have another one of these Barrio Locos right here in the IE, so still residing here in the Inland Empire, but now making our way to a different part of the Inland Empire. We shall be heading towards the area that is known as Moreno Valley. What? Moreno Valley's got neighborhoods? Yes, and they have a lot of them, bro. I don't understand when people be like, man, there's no gangs in Moreno Valley. Man, it's nice right there. Bro, there's all kinds of different neighborhoods in Moreno Valley. Not just Hispanic, but also with, black neighborhoods as well. There's a lot of black gangs in, Moreno Valley as well. So you have different, gangs within this area. It definitely gets on and cracking. From Southside Maniacs to the Rascals to Moreno 13, La Gran Familia, to the, East Side Web Block Gangsters, to the Unknown Mafia Gang, to the, Edgemount Criminal Gang, to the Edgemount Locos, to, man, you got all kinds of different violence right here in this area. And one of the other neighborhoods that you have established here in Moreno Valley is the Barrio Moreno, which is known as the Barrio Moreno Barrio Locos. Moreno Barrio Locos MVLS, or Moreno Valley Locos, but no, it is known as Moreno Barrio Locos. It is a well-established neighborhood that hasn't been around that long, so they're not as old school as some of these other gangs, within the area. But nonetheless, real individuals that do real things. They were a smaller neighborhood, you know what I mean? From at least from what I was told, 50 to 60 members to them. Like I said, because Moreno Valley doesn't have that long that has actually been established itself. So obviously, that's the reason why they're not as old school or don't have that many members, because like I said, Moreno Valley in itself hasn't been around that long. To date back already, a long time. But in the short amount of time, they grew in numbers, and they've been doing their thing. They hold it down right there. You know what I mean? Well respected barrio. Their territory is everything that's from John F. Kennedy Drive all the way to Heacock Street. From that, the territory extends all the way to Gentine Avenue, and Gentine Avenue, the territory stretches all the way to Indian Street. Indian Street, the territory goes all the way to Fayette Avenue. From Fayette Avenue, the territory still stretches all the way to Kitchen Street. From Kitchen Street, the territory, back to JF Kennedy and back around. So everything that's in the middle, which is a pretty large amount of territory, but like I said, they're just spread out, because they don't have that many members, but they're just spread out throughout that whole entire area, close to what's the park that's right there, the JF Kennedy Memorial Park. It's where you're able to find, the Moreno Varrio Locos. Real Varrio Locos neighborhood that does real things and still continue to still represent for theirs. Now, to find the next Varrio Locos neighborhood, we actually have to be traveling to the area that is known as the Imperial Valley. The Imperial Valley is the area that consists of, different locations like Calipatria, Calexico, Hopeville, all of that area, El Centro, all of that is what's considered, the Imperial Valley. And another area where it goes down, and there's several neighborhoods that hold it down in that area, is the area that is known as Brawley or Brolin, as the Chicanos say it. Brolin is another area where we're able to find one of these barrios, which is known as the barrio BVLS. BVLS translating to Brolin Barrio Locos. Brolin Barrio Locos is a neighborhood that's already been established since the early 90s that this neighborhood was established, with up to 50 members to them. 50 to 60, so not that large either. But, in this area, that's a pretty decent size, for the area, because not jam-packed like other cities like, Los Angeles and stuff like that. So for the area, it's pretty large. And they've been a real barrio right here in Brolin. Like, you have different Brolin barrios. Like I said, Eastside Brolin. You have the projects, proyectos. You have the Baja California right there. I'm telling you, you just have different, barrios. It definitely kicks off right there. And one of them that's, holds it down is the BVLS, the Brolin Barrio Locos. It's a real gang. Like I said, I was seeing people try to say that it wasn't a real gang, or that it was the same thing as the Eastside Brolin, but they're all different neighborhoods. And this one's still right there, still maintaining, holding it down for the Brolin Barrio Locos.